Hello everyone, myself Dr. Keshab Chandra Mandal. I am from India. Okay, in this video I am going to tell you about some very important issues that is very much important for the people in the world as well as state leaders in the world. Equally it is important for the policymakers, students of international relations, and students of foreign trade or political science particularly. Okay, so you all know that very recently there is a tariff war, rather you can say, between China and USA. Why this war has been initiated by Trump administration, and what might be the impact of this tariff war, and we'll say what might be the impact on China as well as USA. It's not that there will not be effect on US economy. It is not that China will be free from any problem. It's not that both the countries will be affected. And next, in point number 4, I would like to say about, could the USA be able to survive from the whimsical trade war initiated by Trump and disrespecting or rather making angry its older allies. Number 6, do all the Republicans stand behind Mr. Trump in his trade policy? And next I will say, number 7, I will say, who might win this trade war? Because this trade war, I think that it will continue at least for next 3 years. Why this will continue? Why the United States of America, or particularly Donald Trump, had initiated or has initiated his trade policy or his tariff, why he has increased, why he has imposed tariff almost all the countries in the world, why he has imposed tariff on China. These are some questions, very important questions, and what might be the effect of it on both people and the country as a whole and their economies, and what might be the situation in the globe, in the world, what might be the impact of political situation, what might be the political equation between and among the countries or between and among the allies or some groups or some organizations, international organizations, right? So at first I would like to say that you all know that recently during Donald Trump's this term, when he took an oath of office in January 2025, he at first wanted to revive US economy. This is the first aim or particular or objective, you can say, that United States of America wants to revive its economy. And you see, second point is that United States of America wants to set up or shift its manufacturing centers in the USA instead of other countries, right? Number 2. Number 3, he first time said that make America great again. Is there, my question is there any country in the world whose heads do not want to progress, do not want to develop his or her country? No. But still he has created a slogan, rather you can say, make America great again. This was his election campaign agenda, prime agenda, because he wanted to revive US economy. So all these things are good and fine, but while he was doing so, after coming into power, what has created problem, or what kinds of problem has been created both in USA, and what impacts have fallen on the countries in the world. So, the US President Donald Trump imposed 125% tariff on China. So, again, on last Wednesday, US raised tariffs on Chinese imports to a staggering 125%, citing a lack of respect from Beijing. So you see, what is the argument behind raising the tariff? It's a lack of respect. What do you mean by lack of respect? I mean, all the people, you are the United States of America, being the largest economy, thinks that it will create hegemony over the world, that it has been created after Second World War. So how long it will continue to say this? He says that lack of respect from Beijing means you will impose tariff and China will remain silent. China will say, sorry sir, sorry sir. No, it cannot happen. It cannot happen in international relations. No country, all the countries are free. All the countries have born free, like all the people have born free. So countries are free. Countries are having sovereign power. They are having both internal and outer and external sovereignty. Okay, those where elected governments are existing. So, a previous round of US tariffs had come into force earlier on Wednesday, last Wednesday, and today is Sunday. So, jacking up duties on China to 104%, as well as blanket levies. China is also under sector-specific tariffs on steel, aluminium, and imports. China has vowed to fight. China has vowed to fight measures to the end, and so far has unveiled reciprocal tariffs each time Trump has upped the ante. It means whenever USA is imposing tariff on China, China is also equally raising its or increasing its tariff on US goods. Okay, so it is said that China will, what is saying, China says that yeah, we will raise our tariffs on US goods. At the same time, we will continue to discuss, we will continue discussions, right? And you see, China had filed a complaint already with the World Trade Organization, citing bullying tactics by the Trump administration. In the classrooms, some students bully, other students are some weaker students. Similarly, the bossism or the elder brotherly attitude, not in good sense, in bad sense, has been initiated by the US administration recently on all the countries in the world. See, Beijing has blasted the US fiery rhetoric. It has continued to urge equal dialogue to resolve the trade spat. China increasing its tariff on US goods on the one hand, and on the other hand, it has kept open its door of dialogue. Okay, so Jiwei Zhang, a Chinese economist of Pinpoint Asset Management, said China had sent a clear signal that it would not back down, adding that there was no quick and easy way out of the conflict. Similarly, Haibin Zhu, chief China economist at JP Morgan, agreed, saying the bar for possible deal is high. Okay, so why China? I am saying that what is the, now I am going to say what is the impact on Chinese and US tariff. Okay, you know, what is the size of China and US trade relation? Remember, according to recent data from the Office of the United States Trade Representatives, the total goods trade between the US and China stood at an estimated $582.4 billion in 2024. US goods exports to China totaled $143.5 billion. On the other hand, US goods imports from China totaled $438.9 billion. So you understand clearly that the upshot is America's trade deficit with China was $295.4 billion last year. So why the new government under Trump administration will bear the brunt? Why? There is argument on Trump's imposition of tariff on China, because from China, USA is suffering from huge trade loss. okay, or trade deficit. So that is not a small amount. That is $295.4 billion that happened in last year, in the last year of Biden administration. So China is the USA's third largest trade partner after Mexico and China. And Donald Trump, after coming in power, he has also angered both Mexico and Canada, okay, because it was heard that USA wanted to annex Canada. It wanted to annex Canada, and but the political scientists and international relation experts have said that it is impossible, or it is an absurd idea that Canada would be the 51st state of the United States of America. Okay, and there has been change of guard in Canada only for this, to safeguard the interest of the Canadian people. And similarly, Mexico, the border problem was there, and fencing and migration was a challenge. Illegal immigration was a problem in Mexico and USA, though it is the second largest partner of Indo-Mexico US Mexico trade relation, is the second largest trade partnership, while Canada is the third largest third largest partner of the United States of America. Okay, second largest. First largest is Mexico, second largest is Canada, and third largest is China. Okay, so US has been slowly weaning itself off Chinese imports. Okay, so and okay, I am going to say you in the next part that why USA is imposing tariff on China. So Chinese goods accounting for 13.3% of US imports in 2024, down from a peak of 21.6% in 2017. Okay, so gradually, by then also gradually they were trying to reduce its imports from China. Okay, still, from washing machine and TV sets to clothing, China is one of the top suppliers of goods to the United States of America. Okay, so what are the things, many of you have curiosity that what are the things mainly United States of America import from China? Yes, I say let me give you a brief description that in 2022 China exported $551 billion in products to the United States. Machinery including broadcasting equipment $59 billion, computers $52 billion, and office machine parts $17 billion, made up nearly half the exports. Okay, I'm not going in detail, but the main things United States of America imports from China are machines, miscellaneous, and you say textile, metals, plastic and rubbers, chemical products, transportation, footwear and hairwear, instruments, stone and glass, paper goods, animal hides, wood products, foodstuff, precious metals, animal products, vegetable products, mineral products, weapons, animal and vegetables, arts and antiques. Okay, I'm not going in detail more. So it was published in February 4, 2025 in Al Jazeera. Okay, so you see, on the flip side, 24.7 billion of agricultural products were exported from the USA to China in 2024. Okay, so mainly in the form of soybeans. So China is also a large importer. China is also large importer of US farming equipments, computer chips, and fossil fuels. Okay, in a way, what could be the benefit of US? Let me tell you in brief. So Trump has long maintaining that tariffs can reduce America's trade deficit and bring foreign manufacturing back to the USA. Okay, so he has also said that it will pave the way for future tax cuts. Second thing is that why Donald Trump imposed tariff on China, too much tariff on China. I said because the first thing is that number one reason is that United States of America wants to reduce its deficit, trade deficit from China, number one. Number two, remember in 1979, nearly 20 million Americans made their living from manufacturing. On the other hand, today it's closer to 12.5 million. It means there is a clear gap of 8 million jobs. So where has been gone? Where has gone these 8 million jobs? Those 8 million jobs from manufacturing industries have gone to other countries, in the third world countries or in the developing countries like China, Mexico, Canada, in those countries, or India, like that. Okay. So in the year following the World War II, the US was a leading producer of motor vehicles, aircraft and steel. Since then, says Vincent Weissard, head of international trade at the economic think tank CEPII, foreign competition and productivity gains have shrunk the US relative share of manufacturing jobs. Okay, so he also pointed out that some industries like cars and steel could benefit from lower foreign competition. However, they will also face higher prices for intermediate goods used in own manufacturing processes. Weissard said that there may be investments in the several industries over the longer term beyond 5 years, but the impact of tariffs on consumers in the near term will be higher prices. Okay, so in what way will tariff hurt the US? Remember, so while Trump is hoping that his tariff regime will erode China's trade surplus, Beijing benefits from entrenched competitive advantages. How? According to Brian Kalushin, a chief economist at Fitch ratings agency, China's industrial dominance won't be easy to dislodge. It is not possible for the US or any country in the world that people or the countries or economic powers would dislodge the dominance of China from manufacturing industries. Okay, in recent decades, China has built up an amazing logistics and infrastructure network. That is why it's not possible for any country, including the United States of America, to dislodge China from its manufacturing sectors. Okay, you see, another point is that where will be problem in the United States? Suppose wage cost per manufacturing hour in the US, wage cost per manufacturing unit hour in the US is around $30 in the US, while it is how much? It is much lower in China. That is, suppose it's only $12. Only it's $12 per manufacturing hour cost. So where $18 gap per hour, you just imagine $18 if one works for 8 hours, 18 into 8, how much? So almost $160 per day. So you imagine this much can be saved from one labor. That is why the manufacturers of the United States of America instead of setting their manufacturing industries in the USA, they are setting up industries in lower income countries or where wages are low, like China, India. Okay, but now at this moment, I would say that in comparison with China, India is more dependable to the world's manufacturers, because India has a stable government. Indian political leaders are comparatively good. There are less corruption, and their good infrastructure has been built. People are good, and skilled laborers are there with production cost, lesser production cost. Okay, so people are thinking, people are now shifting their manufacturing industries from China to India, and many Western people are also, Western industrialists also coming to India for setting up their industries. Okay, so these are the industries. What are the so you see, Al Jazeera reported that the US electronics and digital firms are particularly exported to where Trump's latest round of Chinese tariffs. Apple, for instance, is at high risk, because these are the companies who mainly manufacture things from China and other countries, right? So for Kalushin, it is likely to be a combination of both. This means a squeeze on business activity and higher household costs for American people. So why American people or why the American manufacturers will set up their industries or shift their industries to their own country, that is the United States of America? That will be why the industrialists will incur losses by knowing all these things. Why people of the USA will incur losses and will buy things with more costs? No, they will not. So from both the sides, the decision of the Trump administration is faulty. Okay. So during Trump's first trade war also with China in 2018, the US-China Business Council estimated that 245,000 US jobs were lost. 245,000 jobs were lost from the US market during Donald Trump's last term in 2028. Okay, it has been cited by, or it has been referred by Al Jazeera. All right. So I say that what happens? Layoffs has been started during this time also. You all know that the United States of America, particularly Donald Trump, has kept his has created a new new department, that is DOGE, Department of Government Expenditure. Okay, in this department Elon Musk is heading. Elon Musk is the head. What he is doing, he has already laid off employees from education department, from health department, and from many other departments. Okay, and already 7,000 probationary IRS employees, like Indian IRS employees with roughly 1 year or less of service, were laid off from the organization in last February. Can you just imagine? 7,000 IRS employees has been laid off. So what could Indian people expect or believe that it could happen in India? So in that sense, Indian democracy is much better than US democracy. Here at least these things do not happen. Government agencies have been directed to submit where plans, where the reduction can be possible. Okay, the Labor Department reported that US employees added, though it is said that employees added 143 jobs in January, but actually the scenario is different. Many people have become jobless, they have become penniless, their life and their livelihood and their family is at stake, and they are in trouble after the Trump administration. Okay, so fact, I am just telling you two facts. What are the layoff scenario in the US? Weekly applications for jobless benefits are considered a proxy for layoffs, which have remained mostly in a range between 200,000 to 250,000 for years, right? Next, number two, what do we know about unemployment benefits received by Americans? The total number of Americans received unemployment benefit for the week of February 22 rose by 42,000 to 1.9 million. So you think the nature of layoff has taken place in the United States of America. Okay, so this is the scenario in the USA. I think that the scenario is very tough. Okay, and very problematic and very sympathetic and very hurtful. Okay, I said that whether this policy of Trump administration is being supported, or all the Republicans are behind Trump's decisions, right? So if you see that USA Today, you will find that 11th April, the USA Today made a report in the first page, GOP fears, entitled GOP fears a political payback from tariffs. Okay, so the heading is like that, It has been written by Jack Anderson and Raleigh Begin, USA Today. Let me tell you briefly. So President Donald Trump has described the US economy as an ailing patient that needs some medicine, and he prescribed tariffs as the remedy. But now Republicans increasingly are nervous that they are the ones who could be forced to take their medicine in the 2026 midterm elections. If the president's tariff gambit sours voters and Trump is left fighting with the Democratic majority in Congress for his final 2 years in the White House, whose throat do I get to choke if this proves to be wrong? Said North Carolina Senator Tom Tillis, one of the GOP's grand old party's most vulnerable incumbent in next year's election, as during the hearing on Capitol Hill. Not only he alone, Senator Ted Cruz, Republican of Texas, also warned of a political bloodbath for Republicans if a trade war tanks the U.S. economy. Senator Rand Paul, Republican of Kentucky, he reminded his colleagues how tariffs have decimated, quote, decimated the GOP and left them without political power in the previous century for 6 decades. They have reminded Donald Trump that what might be the consequences if it does not liked by the voters of the United States of America. Definitely, because they are the very aged and very experienced senators, and they know what the people of the US normally like. Okay, so this is the scenario, and in this situation I would like to say why the US is so daring to impose tariffs on China and on the world as a whole. Why the United States of America's President Donald Trump gets the courage to insult his counterpart Zelensky, who is the elected president of Ukraine. Why he is, what I say, threatening, why he is talking roughly with the people of the world, why he is dominating in the name of Make America Great Again, why he is doing so, because he thinks that the United States of America is the most powerful country in the world, okay, because it has the most economic power, economic strength. Its economy is very strong. It has $30 trillion economy. On the other hand, China is having $19 trillion economy. India is having only $4 trillion economy, and 2 other countries, Germany and Japan, the 3rd and 4th largest economies, are also a little bit, ahead. They are a little bit ahead of India, with Germany $4.9 trillion economy and Japan $4.39 trillion economy. While the United Kingdom, though the country that ruled over the world for last many years, for last 2-3 centuries, became only $3.73 trillion economy. France 3.28, Italy 2.46, Canada $2.33 economy, and Brazil with 2.31. So it's not that this is the size of economy. If the combined the total economy of Brazil, Canada, Italy, France, United Kingdom, India, Japan, China, Germany will be little more, and all these countries will not go against India, against USA. So BRICS countries, world BRICS countries, Brazil how much? $2.31 trillion. Brazil, BRICS, Russia, it's much lower. Brazil Russia, India only 4.27 trillion dollar economy. Russia and South Africa has more less economy or lesser economy, economic size. So they know that United States of America knows that they are not economically powerful, they are not militarily powerful, their science and technology are lesser than us. That is why they dare to do so. Okay, even they think, they know that the European Unions, the combined 27 countries total size of economy is only $19 trillion economy. On the other hand, big country has lesser economic strength. So how they will be able to fight against the United States of America? This truth has been realized very well by Donald Trump. That is why he has been threatening, he has been imposing tariffs, he has been trying to bring control all the countries of the world under him. Okay, but because Russia is not now competent. Now the bipolarism has been ended and unipolarism has been started with the hegemony of United States of America, right? And it's not knows that the total debt of European Union is too much. It is $18 trillion. Okay, so so the United States tops the list with a staggering $26 trillion external debt. But the total external debt of European Union is almost $18 trillion. So you see that United States of America still is having the most powerful economic power, military power, science and technology, all infrastructure, everywhere it is great. That is why it dominates. But if it continues in this way, then there will be problem for the country, because the countries are in fear of United States of America. When they will get chance, when there will be opportunity, definitely United States of America might go. United States of America has already angered many countries in the world: Canada, Mexico, Japan, China, India, but India did not express, and almost all the countries have been angered by Donald Trump's behavior or his trade policy. Okay, so they might be joined or combined together, and once they come together, European Union and BRICS, then there might be a problem for the United States of America. So with this, I hope that the United States of America will definitely behave like a big brother, but it should be good, it should be sober, it should be sympathetic, it should cooperate and help other countries in the world, so that they all can survive and live together peacefully and happily. With this, I would like to conclude here. Thank you very much. Thank you.